Cool. Do not know what came over me. I could not wake up. I was trying to go to sleep early, taking the sleeping pill. I could not go to bed. Um, Hoping to wake up for CPI at 5:30, but I missed it. Okay. I'm not gonna stress about it too much. I'd say that second test on this 23,802 level, really good opportunity for a short. Comes back during market hours or RTH for an excellent short. Um, where I popped into the market is relatively where this chart is at. I had to put in replay just to kind of get the area, what the volume profile looks like, and all that. And what I'm trying to play with is like value area high, value area low, and then entering in reference of value, right, where the market is. And so my thesis was that we would approach this LVN right here, right at this value area high on both the right profile, the other profile, and the other profile, and take that down to the lows. So what I was seeing was this on my Sierra chart, and you can kind of see some absorption on both sides, right? We have a lot of this blue delta, this red delta, but we had this massive sweep low. All right, we like go into this range, which I'll bring up later in this video, but this range where there are no sellers active, and then we ramp up from there. So really, this is like a two-sided warfare, right? On my eyes, I was like, okay, we're approaching this value area high. I want to take this back into value. I have some sort of rejection right here. I also have this building of blue delta, which looks like absorption of the buyers. I'm gonna take this down to the lows. I get stopped out, but that's okay. I know I'm wrong, right? This absorption was really for an initiative move for buyers to step in, take this up to new highs. The reason of that is because you can see this green box where it starts. You have these 2 points where price just would not go. Sellers were active at these highs, and then once we get above that, we just launch up. Right, this is like an hourly or 4 hour chart. I think an hourly, and we launch above that. And anytime we test into this green box that I drew out right here, there is no active sellers. So it's like 1, 2, 3, and then lastly 4, which is today. So it's like how many times do we have to test this to see if sellers are engaged in this area? Now, I had not mapped this out. I had learned this later on through some material that I've been looking at, part of this group, and that was a nice refresher for me. Okay, so above these highs, there's no activity for sellers to engage. This is right around the lows of the day. So putting that into context means that any sort of pullback where you see this, what seems like a heavy push on the sellers, you need to start buying that because this is going to be a trend day upwards. And every pullback that you can get, we're going to push up. And then we start doing this push and then we build. You can see on the left right side for these volume profiles, we have the volume profile building out these tight little ranges, and then we push up, and then we build a tight little range, and then we push up. But every single one of these tight little ranges has a pullback. Just buy every single one of those. Now, this is only characteristic if you have a trend day upwards, right? Trend day downwards, just buy, sell the pullback. But how do you know if it's trend day? Well, this one, we have this massive sweep down, huge initiative selling, and then we hit this area where no sellers are active. That's been tested once, twice, thrice, and it's been right, and then boom. So I'm not sure if you need that much confluence, but at least for the case of today, you can see just how quickly this shoots out of value. Another consideration and talk about today was deciding whether this is going to be a reversal to get back into value, accepting into value, or accepting that we're not going to go in there and then push to a new range, create a new range even. So part of that is you have your initiative response. This is like the overnight high peak and fail where you poke in, you really quickly, you build some blue delta, and then you swipe down really quickly. And it's this quick rejection. There's a lack of interest in the area. Not much volume is building out. There's this taper, this very exponential diminishing curve on the volume profile. And then you can take that down to back into value, targeting POC as first target, and then the end of that value, the lower end, for your second take profit. So there's that. There's this slowing down. I don't know what you would call it. I have to look back on this for the material, but it's like you're out of this range and you start slowing, right? Yeah, this tight little range, you're building some volume, and it's not really engaging and rewarding either side, but you're still staying out of value, right? And once you're in that position, you have the opportunity to gauge what's the response. You see sellers that are pushing down, but it's just too slow, and you constantly see this negative delta building. If we're at the top of the range, this negative delta building, meaning all these limit orders are being fulfilled, whether those are stops being taken out, whether those are people trying to initiate selling after a breakout of this range. But all these market orders of buys are stepping in. The market orders are what we're seeing on the DOM. So all those guys are stepping in, reloading, and just accepting them. And then price is not pushing. This is where we're going to see that absorption for a continuation. The continuation is always going to have these build, and then it pushes. So you'll see that through all these dips down. It's building, and then it's pushing. There's still more I have to learn about this, so I'm going to rewatch material, figure it out, so I could be better prepared. But basically on a day like this, especially if you have order flow tools where you can see that delta, just buy the dips. It's really it, just buy the dip.